Holy hell, this season is stacked. Anime! Since you clicked on this video, it's probably safe to assume that you've seen at least one. This is also why there's probably a loud argument on your timeline about the best anime from every season of the year, because people like that sort of debate. Well, for this video, and maybe more to come if you like it, the keyword is season. In my video on Shangri-La Frontier, I said fall of 2023, and holy hell, that season had some bangers in it. You had Frieren, Spy Family, Apothecary Diaries, among many others. And I like to do a thing where I pick out a few shows to watch every season. So, why don't I go over the anime I watch every season? I get that this isn't a new concept or anything, but everyone's gonna have different opinions or stuff they like. Out of the millions of regular anime watchers, and even more so, the hundreds upon thousands of anime series, it's still gonna be pretty hard to find people that have the exact same watch list and tastes as you do. All of this to say that I'm my own person, damn it, and I want to talk about the stuff I've watched. Hell, you might even find something interesting in here if you haven't seen it already. So let's get into it, starting with this last season, Spring 2025. I'm sure everyone's been asked this question before, or have at least heard it being asked. What would you do if you only had a year left to live? Well, that's the guiding plot for Once Upon a Witch's Death. Meg has just turned 17 and is told by her master that she will die within a year due to an incurable curse unless she can get a Seed of Life, created by collecting 1,000 Tears of Joy. Yeah, best birthday ever. That would sound pretty grandiose, and it gave pretty similar vibes to Wandering Witch. Not just because both the main characters are witches, but also because the premise makes it seem like Meg has to go on a world tour to collect the Tears of Joy. But we don't quite get all that because the show's only 12 episodes. Which, hey, to be fair, that could be in a potential second season. Lord knows worse things have gotten multiple seasons. And this one's not bad for what it is. What happens here instead is Meg going on a journey to learn more about herself, meeting and helping new people, like some of the renowned 7 great witches in the world. Through all of that, she makes lifelong friends and people that want to help her, well, stay alive. Hell, she even discovers a spell for purifying spirits that isn't just killing them off. All in all, the series really tries to say that the circumstances of one's birth are irrelevant. And it's what you do with the gift of life that determines who you really are. Just ignore that was a Pokemon quote. Let's keep the fantasy theme going with From Old Country Bumpkin to Master Swordsman. Beryl Gardinant, a middle-aged guy, decides that he's peaked in life. That he can run a sword training dojo on the countryside for the rest of his life. Until life gives him a big middle finger. And BAM! He's an instructor for some knights now. One of his older students, now a commander of said knights, had put in a request for him to be the instructor specifically because he was goated with swords. And moreover, teaching other people how to use them. Basically, he's shoehorned into doing way more than he bargained for. This is also when Beryl learns that some of his previous students are some of the most influential people in the city now. One's the commander of the knights that I mentioned before, another has earned the highest rank in the Adventurers Guild, another one has become a respectable mage, on top of many other previous students. Through this, Beryl eventually gets involved in some scandals involving religious groups and nations. What the fuck? Despite all this, Beryl isn't the super hype action main character material that you'd expect, but he's actually just pretty chill and easygoing. More than anything, he didn't want to do this whole knight training thing at all and instead just live the slow life out in the countryside. Away from any drama. This one might have slipped under the radar for a lot of people, but I ended up liking it. This one is Gooner Bait. I watched it. It's Gooner Bait alright, but just in case, let's do a one-sentence sum up. The hero defeats a demon lord from another world, gets sent back, and eventually his uber-obsessive yandere dark elf party member isekais into his world. I mean, you kinda got all that from the title anyways. The show tries to have some serious moments where the characters are discussing their internal struggles and whatnot, but titties! Did you know that the author also made a hentai out of this series? Let's get into something that won't give me the yellow dollar sign. Or at least not as much anyways. Please Put Them On Takamine-san is exactly what you think it is. Of course by that I mean, This perfect student council president has an ability that lets her control Z any event called Eternal Virgin Road and retain her memory by taking off her underwear. Yes, I'm completely serious. Don't get me wrong. At the end of the day, this is another romance plot disguised by the gimmick. Fun gimmick nonetheless, though. Where does the romance set in? Well, of course Takamine has to have a weakness when using it. As soon as she activates the undo button, her panties go kapoof permanently. And as it just so coincidentally happens, one time Shirota catches her with her pants down. Literally. And because of that, his memory doesn't get erased from the ability either. From there, Takamine blackmails him into being a closet that can restock her underwear on command. As you can imagine, this leads to her crush for him resurfacing. What the fuck? And of course, Shirota is the densest brick wall of a guy to not notice her very forward advances. Okay, not gonna lie, if I went through the chain of mental gymnastics that he does, I'd also be none the wiser. I'll give Shirota the pass on this one. This one is weird. Okay, after the last two anime I went over, yeah right, but I actually mean it with this one. On one hand, it looks like an average slice of life series, but on the other, people get killed off like no tomorrow! It almost looks like Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. Some real emotional whiplash moments. One of the main characters, Satoko Kusagakure, was part of a group of ninjas that ran away from their home village. While doing that, she just happens to run into an assassin, Konoha, who lets Satoko live with her because she saw how Satoko has a ninpo that turns things into leaves. From there, it somehow turns into this weird slice of life that just flips between happy roommates living together to, oh god damn! I ended up liking it quite a bit, even with all the emotional whiplash. Please help. Now this one, I was excited for going into the season. Since I just finished up Cowboy Bebop for the first time right before this, the obvious inspiration Lazarus took from it was hard to pass up. In the future world, humans can't get sick anymore due to a drug called Hapna. And of course, with every drug comes some amount of addiction, so it was used for that too. But the creator of the drug had gone missing immediately after. Fast forward 3 years later, the creator, Dr. Skinner, comes out to say, "You know Hapna? Yeah, anyone who took it is gonna die a month from now, so you better come find me if you want to live." And yeah, people didn't like that. So as a response to this claim, a special task force was formed to find Skinner to get him to cough up the vaccine to Hapna, called Lazarus. On paper, this show sounds fantastic. Very simple plot to follow along with, and the focus primarily being on 5 and odd characters, each having their own unique backgrounds and sets of skills to help in locating Skinner. Not to mention the whole background behind the show itself. You got Studio Mappa on this bitch, Watanabe Shinichiro in the director's seat, same as he was with shows like Cowboy Bebop and Samurai Champloo. There's also some sick as fuck animation in this shit too. Each individual character has some stake in this, trying to tie up any of their own loose ends before the world reaches the end. But sometimes it does try a little too hard to be cool. This is one of my top watches for this season. Rock as a Lady's Modesty is a music anime. Well, no shit. But one that separates itself from the crowd. You know the feeling, right? When someone tells you that you're not allowed to do something, there's always a little worm in the back of your head that's just screaming, do it. Well, Lilisa sure knows it. After her mom got married to some rich guy, Lilisa had to up her game because she was a commoner no longer, and wanted to prove that commoners can be worthy of being in a noble family. Playing video games? What are those? Cursing? No. You have to act like a proper lady at all times. Guitar? What's a guitar when you can play the most prestigious of all instruments? The violin. Screw that! We turn the amp to 100% and speak in caps lock the entire time around these parts. The absolute raw energy in this series, with the characters just putting their personalities on full display while ripping some sick riffs. I'm not sorry. Just got me hyped to see a new episode every week. Konosuba is back with 2 OVA episodes. Konosuba is just one of those comedy anime that just feels good to go back to every time. What you're getting here is the crew dealing with a great spirit that needs to release their magical power every year, and an uncannily similar group that wants to know who the fuck is ruining their reputation. And most importantly, we get 2! Licorice Recoil was one of my top watches of 2022, and it came back. It was short, but they all had some cute interactions between the very lovable characters of the main series. Even for being short, it was a fun watch. And fuck, give me more Licorice Recoil! I need to see Chisato and Takina kicking ass again. The author of Rent-a-Girlfriend strikes again. But wait, it's not complete trash? The Shunji family children spits in the face of anyone that thought Domestic Girlfriend was too much incest, and fully satiates Yuki's tastes.
Didn't expect the incest is wincest angle. It's only hot if they came from the same womb!
We're not dealing with 1, or 2, or even 3 siblings. Nah, we're dealing with 5 siblings here. This ain't no quintessential quintuplets because the main character is also part of the family tree. Oh yeah, he's got a chill little bro too. This also ain't no quintessential quintuplets because all the girls are not complete failures. We've got one that's good at sports, one that's uber smart, one that's a social bee and almost as good as the other 2 at their fortes, one that's studying to become a nurse, and I'm not sure on this one for multiple reasons. To give you some background, the Shunji family is one of the most known in their area for housing some of the most prodigious siblings of the generation. Arata, the family's oldest son, is fed up with being pushed around by his 5 sisters until they all sat down for the younger sister's birthday. And their dad revealed that almost none of them are biologically related, barring 2 twins.
It's about you kids. You are not actually siblings.
Listen, when it comes to fictional romance stories, I like a bit of spice. What Yuki's saying here,
It's only hot if they came from the same womb!
I'll jump on that ship too. Write the story you want to write, people! It's fiction, after all. I may not be all for Rent-a-Girlfriend, but this shit fucks. Arata ain't no Kazuya either. He's got a conscience and a moral compass that slowly gets swayed, but he's not a complete degen and refuses to see his sisters as anything but. Throughout it all, he's actually a really great older brother, giving those same siblings the push they need when they need it. Not just because he's the next head of the family, but also because he cares about them like a brother would. This series isn't devoid of gooner bait, but what's here was genuinely compelling to watch through despite all that. So there you have it, my watch list of spring 2025. If you want to see me do these for every season, let me know with a comment down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next video. See ya.